Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to our Arabic class. We are doing the Medina Arabic course book 1, and today inshallah we are doing lesson number 15 as far as the book is concerned, even though tonight should be our 48th class so far. So let us begin. Bismillah walhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. So we are reading top of page 87, Ad-Darsul Khamisa Ashara. Ad-Darsul Khamisa Ashara. We'll do that when we come to the Adad and Ma'dud, the way numbers work. But in any case, this is the 15th lesson. So we begin the lesson. Al-Fatayatu, which you can already tell from the start, it's going to be in a conversation form between Al-Fatayat. Fatayat is plural of the word Fityatun, which means a young girl. So Al-Fatayatu, there's a lot of young girls, and they begin by saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And then a woman named Zainab, she replies, Zainabu, wa alaikum assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Man antunna ya akhawatu. Who are you all, oh my sisters, or at least oh sisters, who are you all? Now, before actually going any further, there's one thing I want to point out over here. Assalamu alaikum. They say alaikum, the reply given is alaikum. And yet, as you know from our Al-Damair booklet that we did that one night, where the possessive pronouns are concerned, alaykunna would be plural feminine. So here you can see the group of girls are greeting a woman named Zainab, and so all of them are greeting one woman, but they say Assalamu alaikum. They don't say Assalamu alayki, which would be in singular. And when Zainab replies, she says Wa alaykum assalam, Wa alaykumus salam. She doesn't say Wa alaykunna salam. She uses plural masculine, and the whole group of them use plural masculine. So what is the reason for this? I touched on this the other night when I made mention of the fact that in Arabic, when you have a group, you can have a whole lot of women. But if there's a man in the group, then you will use plural masculine, because the reference to the man takes precedence over all of the women. So therefore, if there's just one man, then you use plural masculine, you won't use plural feminine. So that's the one point. The second thing is that you see they are greeting one individual woman named Zainab, and Zainab, or at least they greet her and they say Assalamu alaikum, a plural masculine. When you know they're only speaking to one individual woman, they're not using, they're not greeting a number of people. They're greeting one person. So while it is linguistically accurate to say Assalamu alayka or Assalamu alayki or Assalamu alaykunna, Assalamu alaykuma, etc., 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 while it is linguistically correct, but the correct proper way to greet is in this fashion, always using Assalamu alaikum. So this is more from a fiqhi mas'ala perspective, but I thought let's mention it anyway, since the thought may cross your mind as we are doing the lesson, because we do it dealing a lot of the time now with the possessive pronouns. So the reason behind this is that when you greet an individual or you greet people in general, the malaika, the angels, are included as well. Hence why you use plural masculine. Think in there for a moment, when you perform your salah, when you end your salah, how do you say? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Regardless of whether you are a man making salah alone, regardless whether you are a woman performing salah alone, irrespective of what, whether there are people to your right and left, or whether there's nobody there at all, you'll always say Assalamu alaikum. Now, the reason you say Assalamu alaikum is, number one, because it was taught to us like this by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that is our reason for doing so. The explanation that the fuqaha have given is because you are giving salam to the people on your right and your left, if you are in jama'ah, Otherwise, whether you're in Jama'ah or not, you are also giving salam to the Malaika as well. So therefore, whether you are greeting one individual person or you're greeting a group of them, you can safely go with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and you won't have any issues. You're not going to say, well, there's only one woman here, so I should change it, crop and chop and change. No, you can if you wanted to, but better would be to just say Assalamu alaikum and intend, like I say, the malaika as well. So anyway, coming to the lesson. So Zainab replies, Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, man antunna ya akhawatu. Who are you all, oh my sisters? Ihdahunna. Ihdahunna. One of them. See, hunna, refer back to that possessive pronouns, like kunna, one of you, hunna, one of them. So ihdahunna is third person, one of them, one of those fatayat. So ihda is in the feminine form. You would have maybe know the word wahid. So wahid and ihda and etc. You'll learn at a later stage in time how to change and use these words, colors and numbers and things in a masculine and a feminine form. But anyway, just keep in mind the word as a word for now. So ihdahunna means one of them, one of those young girls. One of the young girls replies and she says, Nahnu banatu Shaykhi Abbasin. Nahnu banatu Shaykhi Abbasin. We are the daughters of Shaykh Abbas. Banatu Shaykhi Abbasin. Then Zainab now replies, Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. أمكن أستاذتي كيف حالها? Now, if you following the conversation over here, we did a similar conversation when we did from a masculine perspective. Now we're doing from a feminine perspective. So it benefits women a lot if you're going to be conversing. So, you take note of the usage of words and stuff like this for future reference. So in any case, so Zainab replies by saying, Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban, welcome, happy to have you here and everything of the sort. Then she goes on to say, Ummu kunna ustadati. Ummu, mother. Kunna, see, alaykunna that I mentioned could be used. Kunna is the you, second person, plural feminine. So, like, if you had that Al-Damair booklet, which I did throw in Zoom last time. But anyway, it is available on my blog as well. If you don't have it, if you did have it printed out or whatever, it would be good to reference it right now and you can see all the possessive pronouns so you know who fits in where. So kunna, plural second person feminine, ummu kunna. For example, ummuka, ummuha, ummuki, ummukum. And now we're doing ummukunna. If you simply return back to that booklet, there was an example of a word given there. For example, baytuka, baytuha, baytuhu, baytukunna, baytuhunna, baytuhuma, baytuna, bayti, the whole lot like that. So you can literally take any word and put it on there and change it accordingly. So ummukunna, all of your mother, which tells you as well that, as you know, that man antunna ya akhawatu, who are you all, O sisters? And the reply given was, we are the daughters of Sheikh Abbas, which automatically told you they are all blood relatives, they're all blood sisters. So that's why she could say, Zainab could reply by saying, your mother is my teacher, because all of you are sisters. You have one father and one mother. So I know Sheikh Abbas, at least I should say, I know his wife. His wife was my teacher. Ummu kunna ustadati. Your mother was my teacher. Kayfa haluha? How is she? Kayfa, how. Hal means state. Ha means her. How is her state? Which is the Arabic way of asking, how are you? So haluha, haluka, singular male, haluki, singular female, halukum, plural male, halukunna, plural female, and in this case, haluha, singular feminine, third person. How is she? So your mother is my teacher. How is she? So إحداهن, one of the daughters, she replies by saying هي بخير والحمد لله. هي بخير والحمد لله. Remember, أنا بخير والحمد لله. I am well and all praises due to Allah. We did this in a previous class. So you are seeing how we used it in a plural, in a masculine form before. Now we're simply just using it all in feminine forms. Second person, third person, feminine, whatever it may be, we're using it in different formats. So here, she, one woman, third person, she, بخير, with goodness, literally, it means, as we would say, she is well, she's good, she's okay, whatever you prefer to translate it as. She's well, alhamdulillah. زينب, أين هي الآن? أين هي الآن? أين هي الآن? Where is she now? أين, where, she, now, where, and as you know, is and are, these are words we add in from English. So where is she now? الآن means now. So where is she now? إحداهن هي الآن في الرياض. هي الآن في الرياض. She is now in Riyadh. Let's move further. So now Zainab replies and she says, متى ذهبت? متى ذهبت? When did she go? Remember, ذهب إلى المدير. ذهب, singular masculine. ذهبت, singular feminine, third person. So when did she go? Meaning, when did she go to Riyadh? إحداهن ذهبت قبل أسبوع. ذهبت قبل أسبوع. And this is where the importance of noting certain words and the you know, one thing I'll give you as a heads up now. A lot of the time, a lot of us have a common problem when we learn Arabic. The problem is that we think in English, we translate into Arabic. So it makes sense in our minds. But you know, for the person who's an Arabic speaker, it's like gobbledygook at the end of the day when they listening to it, and they're like, why are you putting it like this? And you know, really, when you go to a Google translation, when you ask Google to translate a sentence to you for you, it ends up being like this. When you have people who take quotes and they try and translate it using Google, it sounds weird, it's hard, it doesn't flow. The reason is because it's not used in an Arab form, it's used in an English translated form. Now you can if you know how to phrase your thing, you can change it from English to Arabic, no problem. But when you do a verbatim English translation into Arabic, you destroy the fluidity of the language. So that's a problem a lot of us have. Most, in fact, 99% of people, so you're not alone in that regard, majority of people, in fact, everybody starts out on that point because you're not aware of how Arabs speak and their usage and choice of words and their vernacular, so to speak. So you will end up using things as you think it in your mind. Like I said, it may be valid in the sense that the person can understand what you're trying to get at, but that's not the way that Arabs speak. And the point is, you learn Arabic not to speak moya and gloob gloob type amiyat. We don't learn Arabic for that or things of that sort. We learn Arabic as fusha in order for us to understand the Quran and the Sunnah, and of course the kutub of deen. But any case, so the point being, pay attention to the sentences which are used, because the format of how it is something that you will use in future if you want to speak Arabic, write Arabic, understand Arabic correctly. So the reply given here was ذهبت قبل أسبوع. قبل, before. She went before. أسبوع means a week. She went before a week. Literally, she went a week ago. ذهبت قبل أسبوع. She went a week ago. So when did she go? She went a week ago. قبل أسبوع. قبل سنة, a year ago. You know, قبل يوم, a day ago, etc., etc. So you use it in this format. So, like I said, keep your ears and your mind open and attuned to what is being used exactly as is, so that you can build on it as you go forward. So ذهبت قبل أسبوع, she went a week ago. زينب من ذهب معها? Zainab asks, who went with her? Now, man, who? ذهب. Now you see she used a masculine word, masculine third person. Who went with her? Which man went with her, in other words? If we were to actually understand the question, which man went with her? So what it also tells you is that what is understood, a woman is not traveling without a mahram. So she's asking, in other words, which mahram went with her? Because obviously she lives here. What's she doing all the way in Riyadh? How did she, we know she went there, so who did she go with? Because she couldn't have gone on her own without a mahram. So the reply given from one of the girls, إحداهن ذهب معها أخونا إبراهيم. ذهب معها أخونا إبراهيم. One of them says, he went with her, our brother Ibrahim. In other words, our brother Ibrahim went with her. Went with her. So our brother Ibrahim went with her. So because these are young girls, the brother is a bit older. He's already a baligh, so he's a fully fledged, suitable guardian to travel with his mother. So therefore, the mother and son travel together like this to Riyadh. So ذهب معها أخونا إبراهيم. Our brother Ibrahim went with her. Now, Zainab, after hearing all of these things, now she gets down to addressing the girls themselves, and she says, كيف حالكن? How are you all? How is the state of all you girls? In other words, how are you all? إحداهن نحن بخير والحمد لله. One of them replies by saying, we, nahnu, meaning we are well and all praise is due to Allah. So you also learn from this that the al-akbaru fal-akbaru, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says in the hadith, let the oldest one speak. So it's not necessary that each and every one, now you got 10 girls over there and each one will say, I'm well, I'm well, I'm well, I'm well, I'm well. You don't need that. If you have one person speak at a time, so everyone's not speaking over the other, so the representative, the ihdahunna, which can change, so one maybe know more than the other, so the one say, she left a week ago, and the other one say, no, we all well, etc., etc. It's fine in that manner. But if everyone's on the same page, then the eldest one normally would end up doing the speaking. Hence why people know that's the eldest. But anyway, so نحن بخير والحمد لله. We are well and all praise is due to Allah. So Zainab now says, في أي مدرسة أنتن? Alhamdu is praise. Yes, hamd means praise. Alhamdu, all praise. So Zainab says, في أي مدرسة أنتن? Antunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. So once again, referring back to the pronoun booklet, this is not a possessive pronoun, but a freestanding pronoun. Antunna, the all of you. في أي مدرسة أنتن? In what school are you all? Or what school do all of you go to? That's the end of page 87. Let's continue on to the next page. إحداهن نحن في المدرسة المتوسطة. نحن في المدرسة المتوسطة. We are in middle school. So, in other words, we know now at least that there's not 10 of them. We know at the minimum, because plural was used, that there had to be at least 3 of them. So, 2 could have been twins, and the next one could have been born the year after. So they're all at the same time in the same grade. So they are in middle school. نحن في المدرسة المتوسطة. We are in middle school. زينب متى اختباركن? متى اختباركن? But if you look on top of the alif, you see the squiggly line that we've come to know so well. متى اختباركن? متى اختباركن? Hamzatul wasl. Matach, so we joined right over him. And obviously, as you know, when you're joining, the a of mata falls away. So you don't say mata ikhtibaru. Mata ikhtibaru kunna, which is mata ikhtibaru kunna. Ikhtibar means exam. So mata ikhtibaru kunna. When is your exam? All of you, when is your exam? إحداهن اختبارنا بعد شهرين. اختبارنا بعد شهرين. Our exam is after a month. بعد شهرين. Remember we just did قبل أسبوع. So قبل is when you're saying before, you're talking about something which happened in the past, and بعد is something which is to happen in the future. So اختبارنا بعد شهر. Our exam will take place in 1 month's time. Our exam is in a month's time, in other words. اختبارنا بعد يوم. Our exam is in a day's time. اختبارنا بعد أسبوع. Our exam is after in a week's time. اختبارنا بعد سنة. Our exam is after a year. So you see how to use qabla and ba'da when you're speaking about something which is to happen in the future versus something which had taken place in the past. So qabla, when you're talking, if you simply put qabla means before, ba'da means after. So just follow the words. Qabla is when you want to refer to something which happened in the past. You'll use ba'da when you want to refer to something that's going to happen in the future. So ikhtibaruna ba'da shahrin. Shahr means a month. So our exam is in a month. In other words, we use a month's time in English. So our exam is in a month's time. We're not, now you see, if you're thinking in English, اختبارنا بعد شهر, now you're thinking time, a month's time. So now I need to look في عصر شهر. You think along those lines, and Google will give you a sort of translation of that sort. And then it just don't sound right because that's not the way it's used. So بعد شهر, after a month. Our exam is after a month. Our exam is in a month's time. زينب أذهبتن إلى المدرسة اليوم. أذهبتن. همزة استفهامية. The alif istifham at least with a question which is did you. Did all of you go to the school today? أذهبتن إلى المدرسة اليوم. Did all of you go to school, to the school today? إحداهن نعم ذهبنا ورجعنا. ذهبنا ورجعنا. Yes, we went and we returned. In other words, class is already done. We went this morning, we came back, we finished with all of our lessons, so you don't have to worry. We're not playing hooky. We attended school and we now back home. So that's why we came around here and we're visiting you. So نعم ذهبنا ورجعنا. We went and we returned. Not that we went and we just turned around and came back home because we didn't feel like doing class today, but we went, we attended, and we returned home because it understood from the context of the sentence when asking, did you go today? Not did you go and stand by the door, but did you go and attend classes? Yes, we went, we took part in everything that we had to, and we already returned now. That's what you understand from the context of the sentence. So that is where we will stop for tonight, inshallah ta'ala. Let us see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, no, not 5. Basically 4 pages. So what I would like us to do is at least 2 pages next week and 2 pages the week after that. And then after we complete lesson 15, we will stop for, at least I should say, all classes will come to an end after that point. Not only the Arabic class, all that week when we do it, which is 2 weeks time, then inshallah ta'ala, we'll end all classes and classes will only resume again after Eid. But like I say, I'll mention the dates closer to the time. It's just, I hope to do 2 pages next week and 2 pages the week after that, so we can finish the lesson. So in the meantime, as you can see, tamarinu exercises. Number 1, أجب عن الأسئلة الآتية. Answer the following questions. So you can see the 6 questions over here. Now you have 2 options over here, and this is your homework. You have the option of answering these questions based on the lesson itself. So man antunna, you can reply using the word from the lesson, or you can apply it in your personal capacity and take it as if you were asked man anti or man anta and give your answer like that. So the choice is yours. How you decide to do your homework, which way you want to put it, it's entirely up to you. But you can do your homework, you can send it in to me, or if you don't get to send it during the course of the week, you can keep it ready for next week, Wednesday, inshallah ta'ala. So there's these 6 over here. This will be the least that you can do, since it's exactly what you just did in the lesson itself. But moving on, the next exercise is أنث المبتدأ أنث المبتدأ في كل من الجمل الآتية. Change the mubtada in the following sentences to being feminine. So أأنتم طلاب, so أأنتم أأنتن. So you'll be changing أأنتم here will become أأنتن, and مدرسون will become, what's the feminine form of مدرسون? That's what you will put in. أطباء, feminine form. إخوة حامد, feminine form you will put in. Muslimona, and so on and so forth. You get the basically the way. And there's 7 of them. So if you can do that much at least, alhamdulillah, then we can. I'm not going to push on you all the way to come do it until here. So just those 2 exercises will be sufficient. We can do the rest of this during the course of the class, so that we can do these next 2 pages the next time and end on that point, inshallah. So yeah, that being that, so we end on this point here for tonight, inshallah ta'ala. You do know now your homework for next week is exercise 1 and 2 of lesson number 15. Like I say, you can submit it during the course of the week if you want to, or you can submit it during the course of the class next week. Choice is yours. The choice of how you want to answer the questions, whether you want to use the sentences from the lesson or you want to apply it to your personal situation, both of it again is your choice at the end of the day. So with that being said, we ended on this point here. Until next time, inshallah, we end and we say, وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.